Hi everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at some very special minifigures. Now, as you can see here, we have the Hulk. The Hulk that originally appeared in 6868 Hulk's Helicarrier Breakout. Now you might say to yourself, well, what's special about this Hulk? Not too much, besides the fact that this is the original one with the original tan pants, not the recolored purple that they did this year. But I'm going to slide this guy aside for a second, and we're going to take a look at Hulk. Now on first glance, they look pretty much the same, but there's actually a lot of differences between them. The one on the right is my Hulk. I got this out of the Helicarrier Breakout set last year. It was assembled and put onto my display shelf. The guy on the right I picked up today at a comic book show. A friend of mine gave me a great deal on him, and well, he looks pretty much the same, but there's one big difference. This one is not made by Lego. This is one of these custom figures that you can get off eBay or online resellers, or as we see more and more popping up at comic book shows. Now it's actually quite hard to tell the difference between these two at first glance. They're both green, they've got the black hair, they've got the tan pants. So let's take a closer look at them. Now we're going to start off by taking a look at the pieces that comprise this Hulk. So we're going to pop the arms off here. And we're also going to pop the hands out of the arms. Last but not least, we are going to pop out the friction pegs. And voila, my Hulk is a little dusty. And there we have the pieces of a Hulk. Let's take a look at the pieces that comprise this Hulk. We've got the two arm pieces, again, very nice molding. It's got kind of that, not I would say rough, but it looks like a little bit of a matte finish texture. We do have a molding mark on the bottom here. And other than that, they're great shape. On the inside and the bottom here, I'm going to see if I can get this on camera, but I don't think I can. It does say, I'm going to lean in a little bit here, copyright 2011, the Lego Group. And yes, we've got the exact same thing on the other arm. And if you look in by where the hand plugs in, we've also got a little bit of molding information that has the molding number. That'll be different for both of these. We've got two standard Technic blue pins, and we've got a matching left and right hand. And again, we've got molding mark there, and we've got, it's going to be somewhere around here, a molding number. Maybe no molding number. Aha, there it is. On the inside of the hand by the thumb, oh, no, sorry, at the back we have the molding numbers. And then of course we've got the body. And the body is great quality, put together very, very well, feels nice and solid. On the bottom of the foot we have not only the molding number and relevant information, but we have pegs. Now the hairpiece looks like a standard hairpiece, but it is attached. It's not going to come off. It's ever so slightly loose on there, but definitely not something that you can pop off. Now, the pins fit into this guy very well. They're tight, but they're not too tight, but they allow for a nice range of motion. The hands plug into the arms. Again, nice tight fit, but not extremely tight. You can turn and manipulate this as you need to. So, let's take this guy and put him aside for a sec. We're going to take a look at the custom Hulk. Now, to give you an idea, actually let's go back to my Hulk for a second here. The Helicarrier set I believe was about $70 Canadian. It might have been $75, I'm not 100% sure. It was released in 2012, which is actually funny because the parts were molded in 2011. And nowadays to get a Hulk, you're looking at about $35, which is pretty pricey for a big minifig like this. This little guy, on the other hand, you can get off eBay for about $4 shipped. Maybe $5 if you're unlucky. So let's take a look at the pieces that comprise this guy. Again, we've got two friction pegs, which we will pop out here. And we've got hands that do come out of the arms. The pieces themselves are pretty much the same. I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison here. you can see that they've basically just re-engineered the mold. We've got the injection spot a little bit different on it, right here and right here. And the overall texture is fairly shiny. I've also got a smudge on this one. Not sure if you can see that either on there. Now, I'm not sure if that's just my luck at the draw or if they all come with that. I'm going to assume it's my luck at the draw. Inside of it, of course, we have no molding information and no Lego stamp. And this one actually does have a little bit of a burr right here. Nice sharp edge, whereas the Lego one is nice and smooth overall. It's the exact same for the left and right arm. And if we take a look at the hands, again, we can see the mold injection spot, which is right here. Other than that, though, they are pretty good. Again, the plastic is a little bit shinier on these. When we plug it into the arm, you have that same good tight feel with the complete range of motion. And here are the Technic pegs. Now it's kind of funny because Technic pegs are incredibly inexpensive to get as they are, but again, these are knockoff or custom ones. They're pretty good. They look pretty much identical. I'm sure everyone knows what a friction peg looks like. Just pop that right in. This one is kind of funny. It's actually got a little bit of excess molding on it. Looks like it's got a little tail. I don't even know if you can see that on camera. We'll just put that right in as it is. And for the actual body, the knockoff body or the custom body. Again, same sort of thing. It's actually very well put together. It's got a decent weight to it, just like the original. On the bottom, we don't have any information stamps as compared to the original one. It does peg into any Lego base or board, just like the original one does. And on this one, again, the hairpiece is a little loose, but it's not going to be coming off. Now, the arms aren't as tight, and they definitely don't have that nice kind of secure click that you get with Lego, but they are pretty good nonetheless. He can definitely hold his own arms up without trouble. And all in all, he's quite a good character. So let's put my guy back up here for a sec. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the differences in the mold. The Lego mold seems to have much smoother edges than the knockoff one does. If we look at something like the abdomen, we can see that they're nice and round and smooth, whereas the knockoff one has some very sharp. And the same thing is prevalent on the feet area. On the Lego one, very, very smooth and detailed. On the knockoff or custom one, very, very sharp and detailed. For the actual printing on them, it is pretty much identical. It looks like the Lego Hulk has a little bit more gap between his teeth and a slightly different expression on his face, whereas the custom one or the knockoff one has a much more kind of, I think, sinister clenched teeth look. So what's the deal with these guys? Why would you want to pick one up? Why would you not want to pick one up? Well, if money's no object and you're into collecting just Lego, then absolutely go for the original one. It's $35 well spent in my mind, unless you can find yourself one of the Hulk Helicarrier breakouts, but that set has been retired for a while and is getting much harder to find. Why would you want to pick up one of the custom ones? Well, let's be honest, they are pretty close. I definitely would not pick up this figure to complete a set and then sell it. I definitely would never sell this to anyone and tell them that it is an actual Lego minifigure. But if I had $35 to spend and I didn't care whatsoever if it was a real figure or not, and this was just going to be used for play purposes, I would probably go with the knockoff one. At $3, you can buy about 12 of these, and that's a lot better than just getting one. The other interesting thing about this is the companies that make these have made them in different colors. You can get a red Hulk. You can get this Hulk with the purple pants, like the new one. You can go as far as getting a gray one or even a Thing variant of it that has the scaly, rocky skin. So it's very interesting to see these, and I hope this has been a very good look at the Hulk figure. I'm just going to take a quick break and get set up, and we are going to take a look at some of the other figures that they have. Just took a look at Big Hulk, so why not take a look at Little Hulk? This is the promo bag that came out last year when you spent $75 or more at the Lego store. The actual one is on the right here, and the KO, knockoff, custom, however you want to call it one, is on the left here. Very, very similar. Again, we pop this guy apart, we see the very common connector for these. Quality of the parts is very similar. Tight arms, the hand swivel, leg swivel. They're a little bit loose, but nothing that I would worry about. And again, the big difference here is cost. I mean, the actual Lego one goes for about 20 bucks these days. Knockoff one, $250. No, maybe $350. Would you want 10 of these versus one of these? That's up to you. What are you going to be using it for? Given the choice at this point, I think for myself, if I was building a little army of special ones, I might go with the knockoff ones. All right, now we're going to take a look at something a little bit different, get away from the Hulks for a few minutes. Next up, we're going to take a look at Batman. I'm going to put Batman number 1 here, and I'm going to put Batman number 2 here. I'm going to let you guys think for a second. Which one do we think is the real one? Which one do we think is the knockoff or custom Batman? It's very hard to tell. If I were to switch these, would it make it any easier? Not really. So, how do we tell the difference between these two guys? Well, first and foremost, and again, you guys can't see this on the video, but the cape. On the left here is the custom or the knockoff. The cape is very, very thin and very easy to manipulate, whereas the Lego one is very, very rigid. The Lego one does last a lot longer. I've got a few of these knockoff capes and they do fray very easily. But the funny thing is, the knockoff capes are phenomenal for photographing because you can get some really cool poses out of them. They flow much more like a real cape would, and the actual Lego ones are very hard to move around like that. As for printing, this one is almost identical. The knockoff one has slightly different lines inside the printing. Other than that, it is pretty much identical. The feet on it are a little bit worn, but I would say that's probably just mine. Even the accessory is the same, right down to the detail. If we pop the helmet off, even the knockoff one has double-sided face. So, should you buy a knockoff or custom Batman? Well, this Batman in particular seems to come out every now and then. He was available in the jet ski set and a few other sets last year. If you got a jet ski and you got him for $5, that's awesome. If you don't have one right now, price is creeping up on these guys. I think you'd still get them for about $5 or $6. I'd say go with the actual Lego one. Batman always goes up in value in a few years, and it is just a great Batman overall. $250, also a good price to pay for a Batman. Knockoff or custom Batman, $250 off eBay. Let's say you can get 3 of them for the same price as a regular one. That would be phenomenal for a child or anyone who's looking to just play with the bricks. Considering that these are $250 a pop, you could get Batman, Robin, and the Joker for the same price as getting the actual Lego Batman. Alright. The next one is very interesting. When I took my actual Lego version of this off of the shelf and brought them over and sat down in front of the camera, I mixed them up in my hand. And I'm going to show you why I mixed them up in my hand. Iron Man. Oh, Iron Man that can't stand up. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit here. Iron Man. It is incredibly difficult to tell the difference here. I actually had to flip this one up so that I could see the flash point on the mask, and then I realized something very interesting about these. Don't quote me, I don't know which Iron Man suit this is. I think it's 42, Mark 42. I could be wrong on that. Please let me know which one it is in the comments. But the knockoff one, the gold is a lot shinier than the Lego one. And I will honestly say it looks better than the Lego one. Mask still flips up. You've still got the thrusters on the feet and the hands. Of course, the knockoff one does not have Lego written on it, and the thrusters are a little bit cloudy. Again, that might just be the ones that I got, or it could just be how they are. If we pop off the helmet on this guy, Tony Stark, just like the original, does have two faces. And the faces are... they are minutely different, but almost neglectably. Same range of motion, same connector piece that we've been seeing on the other ones. So, would I recommend getting the Iron Man? Well, this is actually kind of interesting. Lego has released a few of the Iron Man. They've got 2 from the first wave, 2 from the second wave. They also had a War Machine, and if you were lucky enough to get it, you got the Iron Patriot. But that was all they ever did. The knockoff ones, they have a lot of different Iron Mans. They brought out white variants, gold variants, blue variants, red variants. Everyone that you can think of, they brought out one for. So if you're ever looking to build a mock for a Hall of Armor, or you want to get some extra Iron Men, this is definitely the way to go. Iron Man is one that continuously creeps up in price. Some of the sets that you can get him in are relatively inexpensive, but there are some sets that are exclusives, like I think it was the Quinjet had the second variant from the first wave. That Iron Man went for about $20 on its own. This guy, $250. Whoops, our Iron Man has fallen over. That means that you can buy about 8 of these for the same price as buying a regular one. So would I recommend that you get one over the other? Again, it's going to be completely up to you, but they are getting very close in quality to each other. Next up, we're going to take a look at a very special one. And let me just put him down here. Any guesses who that might be? This is the Winter Soldier from Captain America, the Winter Soldier. And this one is interesting because this never actually saw a minifig release from Lego. It does come with the 2 gun accessories, which do closely mock the Lego versions of them. Printing on it is fantastic. The face is well printed, torso is well printed, even has the printing on the legs like Lego's doing now. Same connection type as the other figures. And overall, a very solid figure. Even has back printing. Even has double-sided face, just like Lego figures. Well, newer Lego figures, that is. And again, this was about $2.50. Can't complain about that whatsoever. Would I recommend you get one of these? Absolutely. Until Lego actually releases a Winter Soldier, if they ever do, this is the only way to get one besides making one yourself. And I don't know about you, but I have tried to make custom minifigures. They do not turn out nearly as well as this does. This is a professional operation they're running. And they have lots and lots of different figures that have never been made by Lego. So definitely something to look out for. This is phenomenal for doing mocks or for doing stuff with alt bricks. It's also great for big scenes that you're building. Or if you're just looking to do minifigures at a reasonable cost, as opposed to what some of them can cost on the Lego level.